Good morning. It's day 145 on my hike from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail. It is 7 a.m. I'm just getting moving. It started raining last night sometime around like 2 or 3 a.m. Just another miserable morning. And I mean, it's beautiful right now, but it was like my tent's wet inside out. It is cold. It is probably in the high 30s right now. It was just so hard to move and get out of bed. I was waking up every hour because of the rain. This is going to be a rough stretch to the finish here if it's like this every day. So I'm trying my best. Got to get moving. But it's just when everything's wet and cold, it is so hard. I am so sick of dealing with wet, damp, gross, dirty stuff when it's cold. Getting up when it's cold, dark, and wet is just awful. It's the worst. And it's so hard. And I'm getting late starts, 7:40 now, about to get moving. Got a long day ahead of me. This whole section is going to be tough. Talking like 6,000 feet in elevation gain over the next 25 miles kind of thing, or just under that. It's 8 a.m. I've done a half a mile. I'm freaking pissed off. My left knee is hurting. My right calf has been bugging me for weeks. It's not doing good. I'm just so sick of doing this. I cannot lose my head right now with so little of the race to run, but yet so much. But my God, I don't want to fucking be here right now. I was just thinking this morning, on top of the being wet and cold and dark, what makes it a little harder too is just I was very alone, which I have much this time, but it always helps when there's camaraderie and others. And not shortly after I started, this guy Julius,
what's up?
From Latvia, Lithuania, sorry, Lithuania came, and him and his fiance are hiking and also vlogging, right?
Yeah, we're doing some daily vlogs, and I know the hustle, so you're doing a great job,
I
man.
appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's a lot of added work. And also, you said something earlier, when it rains, it makes it extra miserable out here.
Oh
huh?
yeah. This night we had some rain, and when you wake up and your tent is wet, oh my God, and you feel it inside as well, like, and your guilt, like you feel it like on top of the guilt there is some like a little cloud of water.
Yes.
And
yeah.
it makes you even more cold.
It's the worst on the sleeping bag. Yeah.
Yeah, but that helps you to get out of bed, I guess.
Yeah, and get moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps to know others are out here too, innit, man? We got cheers. I was going for a pound, sorry. We've got 180 miles left. So like you said, that's nothing compared to Mexico.
Yeah, just push to the finish, man.
That's right, brother.
Let's do it, man.
All right, you're going faster than me. Go ahead.
Let's do pole 5.
Okay, power 5. Oh,
pole 5.
Pole 5. I like that. Cheers, man. Man. They just say no, which is so nice of them. Well, I just got to a plateau in a pretty high climb here. There's just so much up and down, so it goes kind of without saying now, but I don't know, probably 1,000 some feet. And then I have like 2.5 miles more, and then I reached the peak of Grizzly Peak. And yeah, my plantar fasciitis is hurting. Glad to see the sun out though. It's just been a tough night and morning. Did not hear any coyotes howling last night, or I don't know, whoever wrote wild dogs, I don't know if that's like a translation thing or what, or if they actually think they were wild dogs, but yeah, none of that. It was eerily quiet. I did just wake up probably every other hour or every hour once the rain started, and even before it, so I don't feel crazy groggy and irritable from not sleeping, but I definitely didn't get a great night's sleep. It was just the rain woke me up, and then it was so cold and wet and dark that my plan was to start the day a lot earlier, and I couldn't do it. I mean, I obviously really could have, but I know I have some flexibility, and I just wanted to lay there. Like my nose was so cold. It was like the only thing that I had kind of peeking out of my sleeping bag so I could breathe, and it was one of those kind of nights. So it is definitely nice to see a familiar face out here. I'd met Julius previously a couple days ago, and I think we met long ago briefly. So it's just something psychological about knowing you're kind of in this together with someone else. Doing this whole thing solo, I've met so many great people, and I stand by my decision 100%. Instead of pairing up with the same people the whole time, but it does add an extra challenge psychologically, 100%, where you're just totally on your own, and nobody you can really bounce ideas off of or rely on or share assets. And but psychologically, like nights like last night, this morning, I really just felt very alone and isolated out here. It's taking its toll on me. And yeah, I mean, it's weird. Like the 180 miles left is really not much, but because of the terrain and elevation gains, because of the weather that I now know is being projected, that I looked at yesterday, we're supposed to rain all next week, and how cold it's getting, and the lack of daylight, like the decrease in sun and daylight and stuff, and just how beat up and sore I am. But I also feel strong on the other hand. It's a weird double-edged sword there. But all those factors just really taking its toll on me. That's where that buildup was this morning, when all it takes to set me off then, when everything I just described, my knees hurting, my feet are, plantar fasciitis are hurting, my tent's all wet, dripping on me out on the back of my backpack. It's cold, just climbing uphill, just dark, gloomy. I'm just like, and I walk into a spider web that just sets me off sometimes, stuff like that, which normally in life I do not really like that, but it's amazing out here where you can be pushed to. So I'm not feeling it at all right now, but I am feeling a little better just seeing a few other people. Also just passed 2 people hiking southbound, and that the sun's out or was out helps a bit. As I've discussed before, the downside of going into town is trying to get back out here. It just makes it extra hard coming from all of that to get back into the flow. And in a way, it takes you out of the flow, right? Like I had dirty clothes, and I really could have used a shower, and I'm glad I went into Leavenworth. But coming out of the kind of the grind out here, takes away momentum in a way, because you're just in the zone out here. And I need to build that back up today, because I'm just not putting out right now. It's a struggle. I was really just don't want to do this anymore. And I know I'm so close. That's why it's so silly to be feeling this way. But right now, it seems like the longest 180 miles of my life. That's how it feels. Oh, the bottom of my pants are totally soaked from getting car washed. I thought about wearing my rain pants, but the trail had been pretty wide like it is right now, and like there weren't too many plants sticking out, but I knew there would be enough. I wasn't sure if it'd be worth the extra, they're not very breathable. Maybe I should have, though. Now I have wet pants from about the mid shin down. Had to stop to have some delicious blueberries. Some of them are a little pruned, but probably late in the season. But man, these are so good. Looks like they've been picked over pretty well. I had some, what tipped me off with the birds. I walked through and a ton of birds flew away. And I was like, what were they all doing in here? Yeah, there's a good one. It's so good. Makes it so worthwhile stopping. I feel awful right now. I'm almost to the top of Grizzly Peak. Done 1,800 feet in elevation gain already. I'm pretty wet from sweat. And when the wind picks up, it is cold. It is just one of the most repulsive feelings you can experience is when you're sweat and wetty and then the wind's blowing, it's cold. It's awful. I'm only 4.7 miles in, over 1,800 feet up, about 500 down. You can see like the clouds moving up here. Beautiful though, very beautiful with the different colors of fall foliage. And the foliage is nice. I mean, the browns and the reds and the yellows, and then you have the green still. The gloomy clouds that just came back in, only had the sun briefly. Not as nice. So Grizzly Peak is at an elevation of 5,579 feet. Just because I was mentioning the clouds and stuff, if anyone's interested. But, oh man, I was planning to take a break up here, but I'm so drenched. I feel like if I stop and the wind blows again, I'm going to be in bad shape, so I got to keep moving. Hopefully, kind of slowly dry off as I go down for the next couple of miles. And then rest. But I need, my plantar fasciitis is hurting bad. I need to massage those. It seems to help. And have some food, all that. But as you can see, I'm just, I don't know if you can see it actually, yeah, sweaty. I just feel gross with this, but it was so cold. I didn't want to take off this fleece. Look at all these blueberries. They're so delicious. I just don't have time to keep doing it. I want to just eat a bunch. So much better than these processed bars that I have with me. They're so good. They look so cool. There's like little ornaments or something. All the blueberries. So delicious. Well, it's 9:50. I'm less than 5 miles in. I'm going to stop here and try to massage my heels, plantar fascia, have some food. It's turned out to be a very slow morning, but it's a tough climb to start, and I'm struggling a bit today. Oh, there's no sun, but I'm still trying to dry this out. Julius just passed by. We were talking how it's the worst if you have a wet tent and you're trying to sleep. Just awful. So hopefully it'll dry out some. But he also taught me about this. He puts blueberries, which I've been eating already, into his Nutella on a bagel. I have tortilla. I had already added some M&Ms, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I bet it's really good. Almost like Brickstone. I think it's owned by Hershey. They're like chocolate-covered blueberries and fruits. I think it'll be good. Just to get a little temperature check here. Garmin says right now it's 42 degrees. It feels like 35. That's not in real time. I ran that forecast sometime in the middle of the night when I kept waking up with the rain that wasn't projected by any weather I looked at to come that hit. So I want to see what it's gonna, if it would keep going. So it says it feels like 36 right now, but it is 42 or something. Supposed to get a high of 55 today and then low 40s for the rest of the day after the high. So it's cool. All right, back on the move. It's like a 20 to 30 minute break there. Much needed. Massaged my heels and had some food. Tried to drop my tent. I think what's messing me with me most psychologically is the projected weather for next week. It's showing rain all week with temperatures of highs in the low 50s and lows in the low 40s. That is freaking miserable. That's what I went through when my phone broke. I mean, my frustration levels demonstrated were lower than when I've had my injuries, because that's just what's really takes me off the most out here by far. But like it was brutal. Like just putting on absolutely drenched clothing the next day, the tent's soaked and wet and it's cold. Like it was just awful. And the thought of having that all next week, like I don't even know. And it could even be snow depending on the elevation I'm at. So that's really messy in my head right now to like think, because like it's cold. Like I still have my puffy on. One sec. From my little break, like I don't want to take it off. My hands are ice cold right now. I actually want to put my gloves on just for stopping from moving for that little bit of time. It's like I didn't want to take this jacket off. I know I'll be hot in like 1/2 mile, but it's that cold where it's like I'd rather waste the time, stop, take it off, put it back in the pack. I got to undo my tent that's drying out, like everything. And it's worth it because it's in the low 40s right now. And that's okay, that's manageable. But when it's raining, oh no. And to think that that's what might be in store is just a brutal way to go out. And like every day's got to be earned out here. Very few miles are easy miles. Just basically to get the point across, to basically say there are no easy miles. I think I gotta see. I presume the trail goes straight here. I'm gonna double check. Comes down and around. Yeah, that was just a little shortcut. So I'm on the actual trail, but yeah, I don't know. I just, I mean, what I keep falling back on is just one day at a time, 1 mile at a time, but it's like kicking me into high gear. Like I would have liked to have sat there for another 5 minutes, but I'm like, I can't even imagine getting stuck in that for more than a day or two like it's been in a row. So, I've got less than 175 miles left, and I am damn sure counting. Well, I'm kind of lucky that the thing bothering me most right now is my plantar fascia, or fasciitis, so to speak, because I believe the actual like tendon's called the plantar fascia, and then the condition is plantar fasciitis. That's why I just said both. But it's one of the few. It's the only thing really on trail I've experienced injury pain-wise that can like kind of be treated in real time. Like it's been pretty bad this past week and a half at times. But then when I stop and actually take the time to rest it and massage it, it always feels better. Not fully, but like noticeably better. And that's, I don't know, there's nothing else I've had out here that's like that. Now I did take ibuprofen and painkillers at my little morning break there for the first time in a long time during the day. I don't know the last time I took some during the day, but that was more because I was feeling this pain in my knee, and having experienced enough of that on this trail, I just thought I want to nip that in the butt, even though I know it's not fixing it. Maybe by lowering the inflammation, the body won't have a full-on pain response to it, was my thought process. No clue if that's how it works, but it kind of feels like it does, so that's why I took that. But that could be influencing the plantar fasciitis pain, but I don't think it is. I really think it's just feeling better right now from the massage, the self-massage. They like to say hi, the little pikas. I don't really mind at all how the weather's been today since I've been up. Like cold, overcast. That's pretty much fine. It's tough when you're sweaty and the cold wind's blowing, but besides that, I mean, I don't mind. It's kind of nice having cooler temperature. I don't mind the clouds, especially in the fall. You know, it's a pain because I can't draw out my tent properly and all that, but what is definitely a concern is rain and cold. But this in and of itself, like if I knew I could have this weather for the rest of the hike to finish it out, no problem whatsoever. It's the rain mixed with this that just crushes the spirit. I fear the blowdowns, the very infamous blowdowns might be beginning. This is the third in this like a 2-block stretch, which is normally no big deal, but I've heard from multiple people this section is awful from blowdowns, and there haven't been any yet, but I'm only, 15 miles into the section. Well, I just passed 4,000 kilometer sign, which has very little meaning to me, but for anybody in Europe and elsewhere that uses that much more logical system, figured I'd just document it. Well, this is a fun one. Looks like I gotta go down and around, being around town. Well, that's the one I just videoed I'm on the other side now. So I don't know, 50 feet back. And there's this one. These are some pretty bad ones. I mean, they take away a lot of the options. Sometimes you can go over, under, pretty much only can go around. It's quite the mess there. Doing some foraging. Oh, reached the top of another pretty tough climb. Sweaty, very cold when the wind blows, but a beautiful view to come up to. There's still snow on the mountains out there. This is late September. Probably glaciers of some sort. I don't know, but pretty cool view for sure. I'm happy to see the sun back out. A little concern there. I just took my phone out, tried to film this, and camera app wasn't working. I restarted it, wasn't working. Now it is, but that was a little flashback to when I had the bad rain day and my phone ruined in my quote-unquote rain jacket pocket from Patagonia. Trash. So it's working now. Hopefully that was just a little blip, but I am kind of holding my breath with this phone, hoping it lasts me through this hike. So happy to see the sun back out. It's 1 o'clock. I'm about a little over 12 miles in. Given the elevation profile and gains and stuff, it's not bad, and the late start. But I've been trying to make up for it a little bit. But I'm going to try to go 3 more miles and then stop there and air out my sleeping bag, which is wet or damp, and my tent is still wet. So hopefully there'll be a place to do it there. But there's a creek in 3 miles. That's the plan, and then keep powering through. Look at this, literally like an hour or 2 later from when I filmed the last gloomy clouds, and there's not a cloud in the sky now pretty much. I mean, there's a few out that way, but like quite an abrupt change. Hoping it stays so I can dry out my stuff in about an hour. Cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm craving a McDonald's cheeseburger. Da 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 da. All right, found the lunch spot by this creek. There's a brief. The sun wasn't out for a while again, but now it is. There's just little clouds in the way, but there's a brief gap here. Hopefully it'll be good enough to dry off, but I don't know how long I'm going to have just with all these trees. Stomach's feeling a little weird, like gassy. I don't know. I've been eating a lot of blueberries, but hopefully it's nothing. My knee's feeling weird, even though I took painkillers and ibuprofen. Plantar fasciitis got better, so I'm exhausted. I haven't gotten the best sleep the last few nights, and I'm just the wet cold is just, it really takes a wear on you. So I got 15 miles in for the day, so I'm gonna eat here and try to finish out 10 more. Ideally before it's dark, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. If I could fall into the sky, do you think time would pass me by? 'Cause you know I'd walk 1,000 miles if I could just see you tonight. What a cool location for a lake. I'm gonna fill up some water there. But check that out. This is Lake Sally Ann. I'm 19.7 miles in on the day. Oh, stepped wrong there. Hurt my plantar fasciitis, which has actually been quite good since lunch break. 19.7 miles in the day, and it is about 5 o'clock. So sunset is in just under 2 hours. So I think I'm gonna try to go 6.5 more to this pond that I could camp at, but then it's definitely gonna be dark. Really tired of setting up in the dark. So maybe I stop a little bit earlier. The pond would be like 26 and some change. There might be a place about a mile earlier that would hit my 25. We'll see, but I'm gonna try to push. It's 5:15. Sunset's like 6:56 or something like that. So got like an hour and a half or so till dusk. So I'm gonna try to push as much as I can in that time. Quintessential PCT moment. It is Glacier Peak. First big peak that stood out in a little while. So I stopped to look and see what it was. Beautiful valley. Hopefully I'm not overdoing it with the videos of all this. The fall foliage just extra cool and a lot of pictures, but I think it's a pretty nice backdrop. Yeah, whatever's next to that white circle is moving. I think that's a person. Maybe that white circle's a tent, not a rock. Oh yeah, there's a tent to the left. Those are tents. It's a pretty good spot though, I'll say myself. Oh, there's a bunch of tents down there. Where am I? There's a bunch of tents there too. All right, some people obviously go camping in the valley. It's a weekend, it's Friday, so. But I'm really far away. I mean, this is a 1x zoom. So I don't know how I saw that movement, but all right. Well, I kind of stopped counting the miles because I'm kind of down. So like in my head, I already know in about 8 miles, I have 150 left. But I did know at some point I'd be passing this one, and this is kind of a big one. So I figured I'd grab it. 2,500 miles I have walked. 2,500 miles. Started in mid-April. It is now late September. I am ready to be done. But I know as soon as I'm done, I'm sure I'll look back and miss it. So I'm trying to make the most and enjoy it. But thankfully, this day has gotten a lot better. I'll talk more about that later, but than it started. But quite a milestone here. Well, I passed that corner after that climb, and it was said it was some wilderness boundary, but there's another 2,500 sign. Another beautiful view, though, on this side. Now I'm curving around. Have 3.2 miles to go to get this place called Reflection Pond, small pond that I was planning to try to camp by. I really don't want to set up in the dark again, but I'm going to end up having to. We got about half an hour till sunset. Could also maybe go and just set up shop somewhere a little sooner. Still got some miles to go either way. Kitties in the jungle. All right, so I can with good faith kind of recognize these milestones because I haven't really skipped anything, minus the fire closures, which I had to legally. And that was only 3 instances. One was like 4 miles or something, and I walked a bunch that made up for it, basically around it. I did get a hitch for part of that to go around the closure, but I walked the actual recommended closure route, and then I got a hitch into town, and then I walked a ways to get back to town. The second one was Etna. I was like, that was at Wrightwood. Second one was Etna, which is like 20 miles. And then the last one was this Wildcat, which was a little under 30. So the total was probably around 50 to 55, something like that. I'm pretty confident I've done at least that much on all these side quests. The one I like to point to, which was probably the biggest one, but was Kearsarge Pass in the Sierras, where I had to hike 7.5 miles out and then 7.5 miles back in. That does not count for PCT miles, but there's been plenty of other side quests, whether it's for water, or campsite, or whatever, walking into a town that is not PCT miles. That's sort of in addition to any PCT mileage. It's sort of counting it against. And what I mean by that is just sometimes I'll walk into a town and I don't go back the way I came, and I'm okay with that because I'm walking way further. So if it's like a mile into town and a mile out, and the PCT parallel in that town was like 1/4 of a mile, I'm okay with it as long as it's longer, i.e. harder for the most part. So there, in that example, there would have been an extra 1.75 miles. But anyways, regardless, when I get to the terminus, I'm gonna have to hike 30 miles back on the PCT on the actual trail, but that's not really counting in the original mileage. So I pretty sure at this point I have hiked over 50 miles of non-PCT miles in this last 6 months, like kind of off trail. But for the off chance that it wasn't for some reason, that will get covered on the way back from the terminus. So I can in good faith, celebrate these milestones accurately because I have not been cutting or skipping miles. It's 6:55, which is sunset time today. I've done 25.2 miles. I want to hit a minimum of 25, so it's beautiful. I might grab water. I'm like close to a creek. Supposedly, comments I read from years and years ago, there's one hidden tent site about 1/3 of a mile after the creek. Or I keep pushing another 1.5 miles to get to this pond. I'd really like to set up in the light, but I don't know, I'm not gonna have much time. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but day 145 is winding down here. All right, it's 1.2 miles more to the pond. I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully it'll still be a little light when I get there. Wow, that is steep. I'm about 1/3 of a mile from the pond. It's like 20 minutes after sunset. Holding it up right now. I made it just in time. I am exhausted, but I read the campsites are on the other side of the lake, so I'm glad there's a little light for me to explore. All right, I'm gonna call this down to day 145. There's some tent sites in here, but I'm gonna explore more into the woods and the trees here too. If there's some better ones. Today turned out to be the second half. I was hurting this morning, plantar fasciitis, my left knee, my right shin, my right calf. There's something else too. So just a lot of pain today. And by the second half, it was better, which is so appreciated. Oh, that's the other thing. My left ankle. I noticed my left ankle that tendon that was popping for like a week and a half over it when I'd push off wasn't bothering me today. It felt great, but then those last 2 miles it started popping up. But really grateful for the second half of this day turned out. I'm pretty exhausted, so I will see y'all tomorrow. One more thing, I always thought of moon being out at night, but actually like the moon set is in 40 minutes. It was actually like out for most of the day. So sometimes it doesn't line up where it's like out all at night. So I'm appreciating a little bit of moonlight I'm getting here before